Good morning, everyone. It is Monday, November 9th, and it is an absolutely gorgeous day here in Milwaukee. And I want to share a thought with you, and I also wanted to get outside and walk around and share the feeling of this beautiful day and something which is on my mind. So I hope some of you will watch through this slightly longer video than I usually post. And I hope you enjoy it. Last week was a rough week for a lot of people. It was a rough week for me. The tumult of the election and protests and what's going to happen. And then in the middle of all that, the babysitter that our baby goes to was tested positive for COVID. And so we didn't have a babysitter. Thank God she's doing well, she's recovering, but the immediate problem was we didn't have a babysitter all last week, so that was added a lot of challenge with Devorah and I both trying to get some work done while also watching the baby. And then on Wednesday night going into Thursday, and especially on Thursday, the baby was sick. He was clearly not well. He didn't have a fever, but he clearly had symptoms. He didn't look right. He wasn't acting right. He was sick, and we went to the doctor. He got a COVID test. The rest of the family got COVID tests. And going into Shabbos, we didn't have answers to our tests, so we were quarantining. We spent Thursday, Friday, Shabbos alone. Just Devorah and I and the baby and Yisrael, who's the only kids are home with us. And going into Shabbos, I was feeling very, as you can imagine, it was tough. You may have seen I posted at least one article on Facebook, and with some of the thoughts that were going on, it was hard. It was really hard for me. Right before, or close to Shabbos, something which I've started to do just started last couple of weeks ago, but trying to continue, I started sending texts to a number of my friends, not all of them, but a lot. I sent, about 150, 200 texts, something like that. All the same, but each one is sent individually, and I make little changes for each person. It's my way of connecting with each person. It takes some time. Some people respond, some people don't. Some people I should be sending texts to, haven't gotten them yet, and that's because I'm still building and collecting my list. If I haven't texted you on an Erev Shabbos on a Friday afternoon, I'm sorry. I'm hoping to build my list, and if you'd like to reach out to me, I'd love to hear from you. In the text I said, may you be able to spend this Shabbos disconnecting from all of the challenges and connecting with what's really important. And it was a message which I was really sending to myself. I was really trying to disconnect. I'd spent too much time focusing on the election, and then had this whole COVID thing going in my own house. And can we disconnect and connect with what's really important? And thank God, Shabbos was a really good Shabbos for me and my family. Also, thank God, everyone in the family, including the baby, was negative. We're all unquarantined, so that's good. But it made me think of the following. The Torah says about Shabbos, leading up to Shabbos, Sheishes Yamim Ta'avod, you should work for 6 days, V'yasisa Kol Melachtecha, and do all of your work. And everybody wants to know, what do you mean do all of your work? Is there a mitzvah to do all of your work? What does that mean? We have work that we have to do when Shabbos is over too. And what many say is that on Shabbos, and there's certainly better sources than many say, but I don't have it in front of me right now, is that on Shabbos, we should feel as if all of our work is done. And you got to ask yourself, what does that mean? I should feel as if all my work is done. What if it's not done? I go into Shabbos busy with work. Shabbos comes, okay, I stop, but I know that right after Shabbos, I got to jump right back into it. How can my work isn't done? And the answer is really a piece of important Jewish theology. We do our work. That's our job. We have to work hard. ultimately, the results are not in our hands. As a friend of mine, Rabbi Avi Zaychik, likes to say, we're not in the results department. We're in the effort department. Our job is to put in all the effort. The results are in the hands of God. And therefore, when we come to Shabbos, we can say, okay, it's no longer my job to do effort, because God has told me on Shabbos I shouldn't be working. And therefore, it's as if all my work is done because I've got nothing to do. Because God doesn't want me to do it. If God doesn't want me to, then there's nothing to do. And all the results, it's totally in God's hand. And that is really one of the very important lessons that Shabbos is meant to teach us. That we put in our effort and everything else is up to God. And when God says, stop putting in effort, that's the best time. Because that's when we say, okay, God, listen, I've done everything I can. It's in your hands now. This Shabbos, I was really able to focus on this lesson, and it was very, very helpful. Today's Monday. We all know it looks like Joe Biden is going to be the president. Looks like it. And of the people who are watching this either right now or will watch this, I think probably a pretty high percentage are happy that Joe Biden is the president. I'm just guessing based on the people that I know. And there's another percentage of people who are very unhappy that Joe Biden is the president, just based on the people that I know. And based on the country, which went pretty close to 50-50. I mean, Biden is certainly winning the popular vote by a few points, but a few points is only a few points. So there's a lot of people who are unhappy. A lot of people who are very happy and are jubilant. And again, I've been very wrapped up in all of this, and I have my opinions. I'm not going to share them right now, but if this happens, this is going to be terrible. If this happens, it's going to be great. If this happens, it's going to be fantastic, terrible. The lesson of Shabbos, which is true all the time, all week long, is that we do our best, and then Hashem takes care of what's going to happen. That's a lesson that we take from Shabbos, and we take it with us. We're meant to take it and have it be a part of our worldview. We did our best. We voted for the person that we were meant to vote for, that we decided was the best to vote for based on our reasons that we felt were what's best for ourselves, hopefully for our community, for our country, for the world. We made the best decision we possibly could make. Well, once that vote was cast, and once all the votes are cast, there's nothing more we can do. Now we have the right to just say, not right, the responsibility to say, it's all in God's hands. It's not up to me. I did what I was supposed to do. I did as much as I possibly could. And now God runs the world. And there's not a single person who knows for sure whether it's really truly better for Biden to be the president or whether it would really be truly better for Trump to be the president. I'm sorry, I don't care who you voted for or how strongly you feel. I also have strong feelings, but nobody could possibly really know in the ultimate result what's going to be better. How could you know? There's things that happen. There are unintended consequences of all sorts of things which we can't possibly fathom. That's God's job. He fathoms them. So we think that something good has happened. It's automatically good because God did it. We hope that's going to come out in a positive way. Do we know for sure that's going to happen? We don't know for sure. We don't know for sure how things are going to turn out. And for those people who think, no, something terrible has happened. Do you know something terrible has happened? Do you know that good things aren't going to come of this? No, you don't know. You do all your work. Once you finish doing what you can do, it's done. And now it's in God's hands. One of the people I texted on Friday afternoon, I'm going to end with this, responded back to me, although I didn't see it till after Shabbos. He said, if you look at the numerical value, the gematria, a lot of people focus sometimes as a Torah concept of looking at the numerical value of Hebrew words. Every Hebrew letter has a numerical value. You look at the total numerical value of Hebrew words. It's a real thing. Some people put a lot of stock in it. Some people put less stock. Sometimes they're real. Sometimes they're not. A lot of times people like to look at gematrias, at the numerical values, and try to discern lessons from this. And we don't really know how to do that anymore. But somebody texted me back and said, if you take the gematria, you take the numerical value of Donald Trump, and I'm starting to read this text, and like, oh, come on. And the text went on, Donald Trump and Joe Biden, it doesn't add up to Hashem. Donald Trump's not God. Joe Biden's not God. You're not God. I'm not God. None of the voters are God. The people are not God. God is God. And there's a reason why he got that job. Because he's God. And we can't see how things are going to play out and what he has in mind for us. And we can just take, not just solace, joy in the fact that God is running the world. Look at this beautiful world that God has created for us. And again, look at this here in the Midwest, in Milwaukee. It's gorgeous. I heard in New York it's pretty beautiful also. I have a lot of friends in New York who may be watching this. I don't know what it's like. I know I have friends in Vancouver who are watching this. I don't know what the weather's like there. But it's a beautiful world Hashem has created. And if he can create that world, and if he continues to take care of us all of this time, we can trust. We've done what we can. We'll continue to do whatever we can going forward to the best of our ability, but ultimately understand it's only the best of our ability. And ultimately, God is the one who's in charge. What an unbelievable sense of peace and joy this brings me, at least in this moment. Doesn't always stay for very long. Thank you for those of you who are listening or who will listen. And reach out. Reach out. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful week.